Let's get down to business to defeat the,
I don't know.
hunch.
If you just know you're that girl,
Yeah.
you just have no choice but to be that girl. And I feel like I'm that girl.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the 5th episode of Be That Girl podcast.
Yay.
Yay, we're over a month in this, girl. We're having a great time still.
Grand old time.
Grand old time. All right, so this week we're getting down to business. We got a lot of requests for like a career-focused episode, picking your career, talking about our different careers, or aspiring career. So we're going to get down to business. But before we do that, let's talk about our weekly wishes. Yours was business related.
Yeah, what? Well, so was yours.
We were very business. Okay.
We're in the mindset right now. So mine was just to get back in the biz grind after my little vacation I had, and I did that.
We did that. We are doing a West Willer shoot tonight. Mm-hmm. Got some new models.
Game day theme.
Game day. Speaking of game day, we have our first tailgate this weekend. Welcome.
It's going to be so hot.
Oh, yeah. Actually, no. It's going to be, the high is like 87.
It's going to rain?
No.
Wow.
Not as of now. Flooding. Oh, yeah. I broke my phone in the flood.
That's how you broke it?
I'm pretty sure walking to class is what happened. Because it got
wet?
But it was in my backpack. I didn't really think it was that wet. But it broke after that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got a new phone.
Yeah, which also ties into my weekly wish. My weekly wish last week was to be on my TikTok grind, which I was doing.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, my phone went kapoop on me, but I just finally got it figured out. Here she is. I have all my pictures back. For a second, I thought everything was lost, and I cried a lot. But anyway, so we did go with our weekly wishes. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Go business.
So, in spirit of talking careers, we asked you guys on our Instagram what you want to know. So we did a little overall just career adulting advice, and then we got into reporting, anchoring, and then fashion and biz stuff.
Being a CEO.
So we're going to go over the overall questions first because that's where most of you fall. So the first question, tips for staying on top of things. So I'm guessing she's referring to like interviewing process, like looking into jobs and stuff, which is more of a you thing. So.
I have been, very much keeping up with interviews and all that lately, and I will say I'm a very organized person, but the other day I was on an interview and definitely thought I was talking to a different station the whole time. And then I said something about like the specific city and he was like, oh wait, we're this city. Anyways, it was fine. We made a joke out of it. It was not a big deal. Okay. But yeah, be very organized with this. So what I have been doing, we talked about it 2 episodes ago. We were talking about the Excel sheet and the planners, how we plan and organize. I've basically been just doing what I do for that, which is color coding and writing literally every single second of my day out. But I've been incorporating like my interviews in there. So in my assignment tracker, I also have my interviews because it kind of feels like an assignment in a way. Like
something you have to do.
Yeah, it's like something I have to do at a specific time. So it is a lot though. You definitely just need to have it written out and planned because you're working with professionals and other people's times. And for me, I'm working with a lot of different time zones. Yeah. So that's been interesting too. I did mess that up as well. I forgot about different time zones and missed an interview because of the time zone. But we got it figured out. So those are my mistakes so far. Just plan.
You live and you learn.
Yeah.
And just do your research on whoever you're interviewing with because it's also like embarrassing if you are talking to someone and they can tell that you don't know who they are. You know. Okay, well, next up, how do you know you're on the right career path? Which I don't know.
I think
it's a feeling.
It's a feeling. I think you know you're on the right career path when you have found a way to take something that you really love and make it like a lucrative career. And I think that's how people go a long distance in a career and prevent like getting burnt out and never really find themselves feeling miserable in their job because they genuinely love it.
I was confused for a really long time. I didn't even want to come to college, and I wasn't planning on coming to college until like the start of my senior year of high school. And I thought I'd be fine. I have a like creative mind, and my mom is like that. She didn't go to college and she was fine. But I also wanted, like, the experience, so that's why I came. But, well, now other reasons. But I always wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I like kind of like took a step back and looked at like what I was really into, and I turned it into what I'm doing now. So you don't have to be like doctor lawyer mindset. Like take a step back and even write it down, like what are you interested in, what matters to you, what are you passionate about, and then see what fits, you know.
Yeah. And I think that's a reason that a lot of y'all want to know about mine and Bentley's careers, is because I think both of the paths that you and I are on are more unique careers. Owning a boutique and then being a news reporter, I feel like those are just not the basics that people think of. So yeah, like Bentley said, get creative with it. You don't just have to go to nursing school, or you don't just have to go to law school. Like those are great careers if that's what you're into. But you can definitely get a lot more creative. I think I also did similar to you. I started doing things that I do in my career now at 9 years old.
Yeah.
And in high school realized, oh, this is how I can make this a career.
Yeah.
Broadcast journalism. So yeah, I think that's great. But I also I think it's okay to not be on the right career path though, and try out a few different ones if you don't know what you want to do.
See what fits, go shadow, and if you don't like it, then not a big deal, you know. Or even take a class. Like I took sewing freshman year and I had to drop out real quick because you don't have to be a sewer to own a company.
No. Like I just think that it's kind of rare for people to like find their career path really quickly and just stick with it forever. People move around.
Totally.
And a lot of people don't use their degree. Like they'll get a degree in something and do something else. Like that's all totally normal. I think there's a lot of pressure to know what you're doing so young, so quick, and that's pretty abnormal. I think you and I both got really lucky in that.
Yeah.
Is we just kind of had a talent and a passion from a really young age and ended up being able to make careers out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next question was interview tips. And so something that's really helped me was asking people that have interviewed for the positions I'm interviewing for, like, what did they ask you? So I did that a lot in my internship. I was, like, asking the reporters kind of, like, what they were asked, or they would just tell me. And pretty much everything they've told me they've been asked, I have been asked. But I also know our roommates interviewed for nursing school, and they would, like, Google, like, what they're going to be asked, and they would find Quizlets with questions that nursing school interviews would ask, or they would find it just, like, different articles and stuff. So that's definitely helpful. But I would try to find somebody in your profession, or maybe somebody like an adult that hires people. Like I know my dad has been in charge of hiring people before, so I did ask him too. So look for people like that would have that insight.
And if you go to tech, I'm sure a lot of other schools have this, but I did a class and we had to do a mock interview, and it's at our career center here, and you can get as specific as you want about what job you're like applying for. So when I did it, I tried to make all my classes like apply to what I'm actually doing as closely as possible. So I told the lady it was over the phone, and I was like, okay, well, I do this. Are you able to interview me? And we kind of acted as if I was getting interviewed as a buyer for like not my own store, you know? And so it was so fun. And then I would also say, my interview went so well because I was so passionate about what I was talking about. And you'll realize that if you do a mock interview about something that you are super passionate about or are not. And you'll just like, you'll feel it. If it feels right, you can talk about it forever, then that's probably where you should be. Okay, next, how to make yourself not go back to your college town. This was a very interesting question that I've never like thought of before.
Does this mean like when you're when you graduate, like how not to just stay in your college town?
I was thinking so, or maybe like she moved away and like wants to go back.
Wants to come back.
I think like you have your whole life right now, especially like if you're single, you can go wherever you want, and you've been and you're familiar. Like you obviously just want to go back because you're comfortable, and that's totally like understandable. But this is like your prime time now. Like you can go anywhere, I'm assuming, with your job. So do that and like meet new people. I mean, not everyone's like super out there like that. Like I'm not even like that, but like really like make it the time, like make the most of your time.
Yeah, and I would give it a fair shot. I think sometimes it is okay to walk away from things. Sometimes like, you know, realizing like this isn't a good fit and like going back to what's comfortable feels wrong sometimes. And sometimes it is wrong, but sometimes it's right. Yeah. And so I would definitely, wherever you are, because obviously that's all we have to go off of, wherever you are, wherever this job is, I would give it some time to get adjusted, because I guarantee you when you moved to your college town, you also wanted to go back to your hometown. Like, you were also uncomfortable then. Give it some time to adjust and give it a fair shot. But then at the end of the day, if it really just isn't working, you're really not happy there, it just doesn't feel like the fit for you, then I think that is okay to go back or try something else, maybe that did work in the past, or just try another new option.
Yeah. I think branch out. Like, if you're wanting to go back because you're comfortable, because that's where your friends are, like, you'll always have those friends. Now's the time to go meet new ones. Yeah. You know, like, really branch out.
I would maybe make like a pros and cons list of what is my pro of staying in this new place and what is my pros of staying in or going home, and then vice versa. What are my cons of staying here and what are my cons of going back to my college town? Yeah, I think if you can weigh like why you really want to go back, like what is the real reason, then that could really help.
Yeah, find the root.
Find the root cause.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into Erin's career anchoring, reporting, and journalism. So one of the questions was how to take better notes / study tips, etc. I wasn't sure, this was written on the one about you, so I wasn't sure if she meant this generally, but I felt like it fit because of like reporting and taking notes on the story and stuff.
Yeah, I'll take it both ways. So for reporting notes, you have to get a reporting journal. They're like these little notepads. They're so tiny and cute, but they're so important. I would not write on your phone. It just looks disrespectful to the source. They don't know what you're doing. Like, they don't know that you're typing notes. It just looks bad. Yeah. So I would definitely get a little reporter pad. Always have a bunch of pens and get ready to scribble. You need to learn how to like write so fast and so concise, but be able to read. Honestly, though, the good news with this is, though, if you're in broadcast, you don't really have to take notes when you're reporting. If most of the time, because most of the time it's like a one-on-one interview, you have a mic on them, like you're fine. The only time you'd really have to do this is if you're in a court scenario. You can't usually record in court, and so that's really important to have good notes. Or if you're like in a press conference and something goes wrong, you know, you just need to know how to do that. Study tips, though, for like classes and stuff, you don't really have to do a whole lot of studying in journalism classes for the most part. Most of it is hands-on writing, producing content, and like that's kind of where your grades come from. So that's a good thing. But we can do a separate episode eventually with like actual study tips more in depth, but that would be my tips with journalism note taking.
Lovely. I didn't know there was a special notepad.
There's a special notepad. They're cute.
Okay, so is the amount of writing too much?
If you like writing, it won't be too much, but it is so much writing, and that is something I will say, like, so Texas Tech, we don't have like a broadcast journalism program and a journalism program. Like, it's just one thing. So it's very, very, very print journalism based. So you're writing a ton. Every single class is just paper. And that's great. I've become a really good writer, but I didn't realize how much writing goes into broadcast until I was in my internship. It's so much writing.
I didn't either until you told me. I had no idea.
It's so much because you're writing scripts. You're writing multiple different scripts for each story you do. You're writing an article that goes on the web and just a ton of emails and all kinds of stuff. But it isn't too much writing if you enjoy writing. If you do not like writing or do not consider yourself to be a good writer, this career path, you will struggle. I'll just be blunt.
Okay. How do you work your way up? What's the ladder?
So, yeah, there's definitely a ladder in journalism. You can't just go start in Dallas or like a big city and get an anchor job and be making bank. It just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. That's something I knew coming in, but I know even more now after my internship and now applying for jobs. One thing to know about journalism is you don't get paid very much. So just to be open, a lot of the average starting salaries I've heard of are anywhere from like $30,000 to $38,000 a year, which is very minimal, very minimal. But yeah, so starting out, I would definitely get an internship while you're in college. I actually don't know how I would be applying for jobs right now if I had never had an internship.
Yeah.
I have connections now. I have content to show. I have a reel that I can show. I would have had none of that. I would have some connections, but not nearly as many as I do now.
Yeah.
So get an internship. That's step one. Then you graduate. Then you're going to start out most likely as an MMJ, which is a multimedia journalist, which is basically just like the modern term for reporter. It just means that you are fully self-sufficient. So you're editing all your own stuff, you're shooting all of your own stuff, you're going to post on social media, you're just like a reporter on steroids, basically.
All around.
You're just like, yeah, more full package. There are still reporter positions, and that would just basically mean that like a photographer would come along with you and assist you, and you pretty much can't just be that anymore unless you're like in a really, really high up market. So yeah, the markets are like they rank the cities biggest to smallest. So the top market is New York. Where's LA? One of those. And then like tiny towns are the bottoms. Anyways, so you'll start out most likely as an MMJ, and this is the career path you would take if you wanted to be like an anchor, I guess, because you can take it different. You could start as a photographer, but traditionally you start as an MMJ or a reporter or both, and you do that for a long while, and then eventually you'll probably get moved into like a part-time anchor, or like you'll fill in, and you would most likely do like a morning show, so you're waking up at 2 a.m. or you're doing the weekends, which is like nobody wants to work on the weekends. And then eventually you could move into like a day reporter or just like a full-time morning reporter, and then one day you'll probably move into an evening anchor, which is like prime time. You want to be an evening. Oh my gosh. You want to be an evening anchor. That's like what everybody wants to be. And then some people will decide by that point they don't want to be that, so they become a news producer or they become a news director and all kinds of things. But that's kind of like the ladder.
Wow.
You definitely have to climb it.
Yeah.
And you have to move around a lot. Because like I said, you start in a small city. So you have the ladder of like the career, and then you have the ladder of like the cities too. So you kind of have to balance that.
Yeah.
So
Probably sprinkle yourself around.
You'll be hopping around, but it's fine.
Okay, last one. What is the creative aspect to reporting and anchoring?
There's definitely a big creative aspect because so many stories. Well, first of all, you have to be able to find unique stories within the community. I mean, we lived today like it was nothing. You have to go find where there's a problem today, where there's something relevant going on today, because you do day turns, or what they're called. You produce a news package, which is a story every single day. So what is going on right now? Well, we don't know right now. We would have to go find it. So that you have to be creative, and you have to be able to do that. The other thing is also sometimes there are stories that are big enough that everyone is doing them. How would you make yours different than everybody else's? Because, you know, if there's a shooting, for example, everyone's going to cover this shooting. How do we make them watch our station over somebody else's? How do you get a different source that not everybody is getting? How do you give a statistic that not everybody's getting? Think outside of the box on that. But then it also is like the way you edit your stuff, the way you shoot your stuff, the angles you get, the all kinds of things, the setting, the way the shot is composed. There's so many different types of things, but yeah, there's definitely a big creative aspect. You have to think outside of the box. And I think news is trying to get away from like being very cookie cutter. And so I've had interviews where they'll be like, okay, we're in a situation like this, like what would you do? Or like if you were in this scenario, what would your live shot be? Like, how would you make it creative?
Wow, I
and
love
you just
that.
have to think it off the spot.
That's
it's fun. It's really fun, but there's definitely a creative element. Okay, let's get into being a CEO, shop store owner. Bentley Camp, talk about the financial aspect of owning a clothing store.
I don't know what to say. Like, there's so many things.
Yeah.
I purposely like didn't think about these questions because I just wanted to like give you my straight answer. But it's just like so much. Even like starting out, I did not realize probably 75% of the stuff that I was going to be doing.
Really?
Yeah. Like I thought I was going to be buying clothes, and yay.
For those of you guys who don't know, Bentley, kind of like what we did with the podcast, decided like really off a whim, right? That you wanted to start this.
I've always, well, like I said, like not always, but since high school, when I was kind of deciding, okay, I want to go to college now, all that, I was thinking about starting my store. So I was just on the phone with Sabrina, and she was like, why don't you just do it right now? And I was like, okay, like, whatever. I already had the name. I just, like, wasn't like, yes, this is the one. But it was, like, the one in my brain for, like, the last 3 years. So I just, like, okay, yeah, we're doing it. And then I called my dad, and we won't have to get into the whole story, but that's pretty much how I started out. I didn't realize the financial aspect really at all to begin with. Obviously, I knew I needed some money. So there's a bunch of different ways you can get into things. You can do loans. You can find an investor, which is tough, which I feel like I'm too young to, like, deal with that pressure of having an investor. Especially still being in college. Like, I'm trying to do school at the same time. It's just, like, way over my head. So it's a lot. You really have to think about your price points and who your target market is. Are they going to be able to afford these things? Like, yeah, it's really cheap at market, but you're going to have to mark that up at least 150%, like, at least, just so you can make a few on it. So, for example, if I buy something at market that is $10, usually it's one of, like, my cute little tops, like a little crop top. Those can sometimes be about $10. And so if I mark that up 150%, I would have to be selling that for $25. So, including shipping. So if I have, usually things will come in a pack of 6. So I'll have 2 smalls, 2 mediums, 2 larges. It depends. But if something comes in a pack of 6, then I have to think about the shipping. So the shipping was $5. I have to divide that by 6 and then add that to the total of that one garment.
Bro, I could never do this. My brain just went the whole time you're saying that.
I hope you guys kind of understand what I'm saying there. But
I feel like if you want to start that career, you would understand it. But me, I don't understand.
Pretty much, like, shipping goes into the getting the product to wherever you are goes into the price tag of the item.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
I understand.
1+1=2.
Like, great math.
Which, oh my god, I'm not a math person at all.
Me and Bitly are awful at math.
Oh my god, you don't have to be good at math to do this. You just gotta kind of understand some things. Like, it's taken me a long time, and I still don't understand a lot. Like, I have to ask so many questions. Like, my dad's probably like, are you okay? I have to ask so many questions, but I have a bookkeeper, so that's kind of like their thing. And I
like,
just
take it off my hands.
That's another tip. So the finance aspect, you can get a bookkeeper, but obviously keep in touch with what's going on. Look at your reports and everything. I get monthly reports, and I'll look through it. I'll look through it with my dad sometimes too. So you got to be aware of what's going on, but you can, if you want, have people do it for you, and it's not that pricey. What else? I guess that's kind of like the base of everything.
So, how to start a boutique with no fashion or business degree or industry experience, but you have a huge passion?
Okay, that's what I was. Like, I'm getting my degree now. I'm not even technically getting a business degree. Pro tip, if you're coming to college and you're interested in what I'm doing, my major is very odd. And yeah, my graduating class is going to be, like, so random, but my college is called the Office of the Provost, okay? Like, what is that?
Like, I've never even heard of that, and
No.
I knew you had a weird major.
I didn't know what that was either. Still don't. But
Okay.
it's where the university studies major is held. So my major is, to put it in, like, normal terms, it's like picking 3 minors, or concentrations is what we call it. So I have a general business concentration, a media strategies concentration, and then it used to be fashion design, but that was way too much, and I could not imagine. Can you imagine me being in sewing and doing this? Like,
You'd be, like, making dresses.
I mean, that would be fun. Like, I would love to do it if I had time, but oh my god, no. And it was so hard. It was my hardest class. It was so hard and
Yeah, I
time
can't.
consuming. But anyway, so I switched that out after 1 semester freshman year, and then I changed to organizational leadership, which was the only other option that was close enough to, like, a business-minded thing. So
That's honestly really smart. Even if you don't want to do that necessarily, like if you just don't really know what you want to do and you like these 3 different things,
yeah.
just that is such a smart
You
major.
can do it even like in a medical aspect.
Yeah.
You can really mix it around, and not a lot of people know about that major, so I always try to spread the word.
That's really cool.
Because I always like to say, like, I'm not graduating with being really good at one thing. I'm just going to be knowledgeable and good at a few different things,
Which
which
is
I think
really
is like
good.
more to offer. Even if I ever do want to apply for a job, I can say, well, I learned about this, this, and this.
And they're very broad things that can all connect.
Yeah, yeah. So if you are doing it, I would recommend make sure they all connect together. But
Smart.
back to the question, you don't need to have it. All I had was passion, so I'm right there with you. I mean, definitely need to be into the fashion world. I like religiously watch the Met, religiously keep up with like all my favorite fashion icons. You got to keep up with the times, be interested. I think pop culture is a huge aspect of the fashion industry. Like, you really need to be into that. Because that's who's coming out with the things that are going to trickle down the ladder down to us common people and what we wear. So, it's fun to like catch things before they're out. It's kind of like Kanye, even though he's a little controversial, but I love him. Like Kanye and Kim, they were fashion icons, and everything that they did has trickled down to what we're wearing. Like, think of the cloud shoes, those
True.
little slides. Like, simple as that, they wore that first.
True.
Big chunky
I
shoes.
feel like a big thing is you just need to have the willingness to learn.
Oh, totally. I will never stop saying this. I've never learned as much in my life other than starting this. Like, how many years of school was I in by then? 14 years of school. And I have never learned as much as I had in, I guess it's a year and a half now. Like, insane amount.
Ugh, that is so crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, passion drives. So if you got it, you'll be fine.
Okay, so how much do you have to invest in yourself when getting started?
I always say that all I do is like stare at my computer all day, which sounds like really sad, but it is real. I would say like the most time consuming things that I've done in regards to West Willow are building my website. So time consuming, but it is fun and you can really like make it your own. Some people can afford to have a website designer and like go off if you can, but it's outrageous like to have a website designer. But I would say that hand picking all of these clothes, like that is very time consuming. And then getting the licensing, getting the sales tax license, getting approved to even shop on these websites online. You have to, like, even some new ones I'll find, like vendors, I'll have to like apply to look at the stuff. So then that'll take like a day or two to get approved if I'm not already approved, which you'll build up your like what would I call that? You build up your
Like credibility?
I guess like networking. Like you build up a network of people that you work with. They'll recognize you at market, ask you how you're doing. Like you'll get to know people, but it does take time.
Yeah.
And then just in general, time-wise, like doing this in school is a lot. But I'm lucky that my major for this is not like calling for a lot of attention. I could probably sit down once a week, get my schoolwork done for the week, which is what I try to do most of the time, and then the rest of the time I can focus on West Willow. If that's not what your degree is like, I would say like probably if you're a true business major, you're gonna have to study a little more, especially if you're in person. So you'll just have to really learn how to balance your time, and then adding on this podcast has been another factor.
Yeah.
So that's super time consuming as well, but I don't know, you'll make time if you love it, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
What's your long-term goal?
Okay, so it's very outrageous and far-fetched right now, but I want to be like equivalent to a Princess Polly. Princess Polly, but maybe even a little cheaper than that. They can get a little pricey on some things sometimes. I just want to be affordable cute, and like that girl energy.
That girl energy.
And I want it to grow with me, you know, like,
Do you always want to stay online?
yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And like even like Aritzia is a good example because I don't always want to be a buyer. I want to be a designer. I really enjoy buying, but designing I think like would be really fun, and I could really like get into like the quality and the feel and the way it looks. Like I would love to do that. So this was kind of like being a buyer is just kind of get my base going, and then one day I'll start trickling in some designs.
I love it.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I could so see you like hands on in a factory, like helping people like this is how I want it. Like
Yeah,
It'd be so
I would
good.
love that. So what's yours?
okay, mine, I obviously want to be a news anchor, but my like top goal, which is also very outrageous, is I would love to be like a lifestyle show host, like, or like I would love to be like a host of like The Bachelor, you know, like a show like that, not necessarily The Bachelor, but like, or like host like a show like Ellen,
Or like an E-News
like an E-News reporter,
on the red carpet.
yes, like something like that. Like I just love, like I love news, but I love entertainment and fun stuff. So I would love to like have my own like talk show.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's very extreme. My more realistic long-term goal is to be a news anchor in Dallas. Wait, I'm gonna whisper this, but there's a plumber at my house right now, and me and Bentley are just down in the basement podcasting, and he goes, "Hello." Hello. Yes, do you want to be that girl too, sir?
That boy.
So, Bentley, can you introduce us? Because I love this game.
Okay, this is so funny. I thought of this off the top of my head, but we're gonna pick each other's careers if we didn't know what we were already into.
Can you go first? Because
Yeah.
you said yours is funny.
Mine is funny. So if Erin wasn't a reporter, it literally says like Erin's job. Erin's job would be
Wait, pause. Just because I might change mine. Are you saying like if I just looked at you, I would assume you were?
no.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Like
we can
knowing
keep
your
going.
personality, but like get reporting
Okay.
out of my brain.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so Erin's job would be like not front facing, like behind the scenes, and runs a very successful viral meme account.
A meme account?
Like not a meme, like not a meme.
Like I run like Barstool?
like let me find something. I'm gonna find you an example.
Wait, no, this is so funny. This is not how I thought you were going to take it.
Supply chain crisis now threatening chicken tenders. And like this account just like posts like funny stuff. Like I could see you posting like funny memes like this one. Hiker lost 24 hours, ignored calls from rescuers because of unknown number. Like stupid like
memes and stuff like that.
not like a meme like a little 13-year-old boy meme. Like a funny
like actually funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stupid.
That's really funny.
But like you like not being front facing, just like
just
being like ha ha ha
doing
on your
stuff behind the
phone.
scenes.
I would see you as like a PR person. Like like a girl boss town vibe, but like in real life. Like I could see you doing like people's public relations or like being a social media manager just because you have you're so good at that.
I'm sorry I gave you a stupid one.
Wait, I mean, I could come up with a funny one for you if you want. Okay,
I
let
like
me
that
think.
one.
If I was being funny,
What?
I just can't help but think like a teacher just because you're so tiny. Like you would just be one with the students.
No, I would never. I hate school.
I know you do, but I feel like you would just be one with the kids. Like if I just looked at you, you'd be like a cute little teacher.
Maybe like an art teacher.
Yeah, like a kindergarten art teacher.
If I was doing a real one, I would probably say I was thinking like personal stylist vibe.
Oh, okay.
If you like wanted to like be real,
Okay.
be real.
I like that. I could see you being a personal stylist too.
Thanks.
I could honestly see us doing a lot of the same careers, except for the careers we're doing.
Yeah.
Like I don't
That's
see
true.
myself running a business, and I don't know if you would like being in front of a camera that much.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
actually
true.
funny. Like
That is
everything, I think every other
We
thing
could
we could
do-
do, we could do the same.
Yeah, I agree.
But we just chose the only things that we couldn't.
At least we're on each other's competition.
Yeah, facts.
Game time, game time, game time. So we're playing Would You Rather.
Rather,
Oh, I always say that, and you guys always make fun of me.
guys.
Okay, I say
Rather.
I always say rather, and Liv makes fun of
You
me
sound
for
British.
it. I know.
Rather.
And I told my mom, and she goes, I say that too. And then someone questioned her about it, and I was like, well, I obviously got it from you.
Yes, you definitely got it from Fifi.
Yeah.
Fifi Queen, are you trying to be British?
Sure.
I've never heard you say.
Rather.
I've never noticed. Maybe.
I always say it, and I'm so self-conscious now. No one has ever called me out before Liv.
Well, here I am on the pod.
Well, anyways, would you rather
Rather.
Dirty Jobs edition? So I went. Do you remember that show, Dirty
Yes,
Jobs?
I do remember Dirty Jobs.
Rob Lowe. Me and my mom used to watch that all the time.
That was a good show.
I found a few lists and I put some things together, and we're gonna this or that it ourselves. So the first one: would you rather be a sewer inspector or a bloodworm hunter?
You hunt worms?
Like the example was like this under a microscope, like looking for, like, you know, when people like get worms,
Uh-huh.
they were looking for that
On the body?
in a microscope in their blood. Like they took their blood out and put it under a microscope and looked through it. That's what it seemed like.
I gotta go with the sewer inspector.
Really? Yes, there's a sewer inspector here as we speak.
There's literally one in my house right now. But genuinely, I think I would rather take that.
So next one: crime scene cleaner or animal urine collector?
Animal urine collector all the way. Crime scenes get disgusting and
That's
so
true.
scary.
Yeah,
So scary.
I can't deal with the
No, I would rather just hold a bucket.
Here you go, sir.
Pee.
Okay, next, a septic tank technician or a landfill operator. I'm going landfill. because-
Landfill operator, you're probably just in a truck.
Yeah, you might come home stinky every day though. Like you can smell it in your car when you drive.
When you
by.
drive by, imagine
But they're
being
all.
right up on
It is just like grass. Okay, next, a gastroenterologist or a mortician.
Big word. I don't know what that is.
Is it like gas? Like
It's like a butt doctor.
a vet doctor?
Like where you got to stick the camera up there and.
Okay, but a mortician, that's awful. I would go with the butt doctor.
I think me too. Next one, specimen collector or roadkill collector. Specimen meaning like just any bodily fluid connected or collector of people. They're so bad.
If you're listening right now, my jaw just dropped to the floor. Like, I don't
really
know.
went in on these.
Gosh.
I think roadkill.
I think roadkill too.
Okay, last but not least, a proctologist or a porta potty cleaner.
Proctologist has an... What?
Is that?
I forgot. Wait, maybe I missed. Let me look it up, guys. Hold on. Oh, colon and rectal issues. Wait, then
Okay.
what's the gastro? Now I'm confused.
We're dealing with so much potty talk today.
Well, that's what the dirty
Sewer,
jobs are.
Sewer, septic, gastro, blah, 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 proctologist, porta potty.
Okay, well, the gastro is diagnose, treat, and work to prevent gastrointestinal stomach and intestines.
So it's more intestines.
Oh,
Stomach-based.
okay.
So they're not the best doctor.
Okay,
vet
they're
doctor.
not the butt. They're the tummy.
This is the butt doctor.
This is the butt doctor, and I think I'm picking porta potty cleaner.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Like if I can wear a mask and stuff.
Big gloves, big boots. I will say this. Something I think about a lot. This genuinely like racks my brain, okay?
Okay.
How do we find somebody to fill every job? How is there people that work at gas stations 24 hours a day? How are there people that work at a landfill? Like how? Where?
I know.
It blows my mind.
I know. Like, how did they get to that? Like,
And
that's
I'm
probably not
so,
where they started.
No,
you know?
and I'm thankful that we have people that do all these
Yeah,
jobs.
I
but
agree.
How do we get there? How do we have people that
I
do
don't
everything?
know.
It just
I don't-
happens. It just falls into place.
Like, I bet someone going into med school doesn't go in thinking they're going to be a proctologist.
That's facts. Yeah, who decides
Who's
I'm going to be a
passionate about
proctologist? Who's passionate about the colon? Anyways, I just think about that a lot.
If you know someone that does one of these careers, go thank them. Thanks. It's like we're talking to God.
I do feel like I'm talking to God.
He's happy about
We're
us.
in the basement, so. But I just want to thank these plumbers that are at my house for getting the roots out of the pipes in our toilet.
ASMR vibes.
Thank you. TBD. I wish we could sing. One of us could,
Same.
if one of us could belt out all these different like transitions, it would be awesome.
It would be like Hannah Montana. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
In between.
TBD.
Ew.
Okay, well, for real though, our try is taking the 16 personalities test. Bitling came up with this one. It's a genius. And specifically, she said go to the career section because it will tell you careers that you are really equipped for.
But all you have to do is Google 16 personalities. It'll come right up.
Or we'll put it on our article for this too.
Oh yeah, we can
on our
do
website.
that. It'll be on our website. And immediately it just says take the test. And I thought it'd be fun if we both took it, and I thought it'd be fun if we told you what ours are, so we can all do it together.
Compare and contrast. It also was super fast. I took it like right before we recorded, and it didn't take me more than like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So there's 16 personalities of like humans, technically, is what this is saying. So I'm a logistant. My brain just turned off. How do you say that?
Whoa.
Logistican.
Yeah.
Logistician.
Sure.
Logistin.
I like all of them sound right until you say the next one, and I'm like, wait.
I'm not. ISTJ. I am practical and fact-minded individual whose reliability cannot be doubted.
Oh, I do see that about you. You're very reliable.
Thank you.
I'm a ESFJA. Actually, I don't know. I'm an ESFJ. I'm a consul. And basically I'm extroverted, observant. I feel a lot of things. I have a judging personality trait, but I'm very attentive. I'm people focused, and I enjoy taking part in my social community, and my achievements are guided by values.
Lovely.
And I'm willing to offer guidance. I'm basically a therapist, apparently.
Yeah, you are. So if there's a section once you reach the end of your little quiz, and you can go to a career section, and then it'll just kind of tell you like what your personality fits. Mine is kind of odd. Like mine says lawyer, judge, police officer, and detective are very popular among what I am.
It says that as an administrator, a job as an administrator is a natural fit for me. Apparently I'd make a good accountant. They don't know my math skills, so. Okay, the bye for the week.
A cute little blazer for all your new biz adventures, because we just handed you the best advice we possibly could come up with.
Everything we have in us. I got a lot of use out of my blazers this summer.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a good, like, cute little outfit. Like, you don't even have to be interviewing.
Okay, deny for the week is not chasing after your passions. Don't just settle for a career because it feels like that's what you're supposed to do. If you're going to be miserable, that sucks. So definitely look into your passions this week and see if you could think of a way to
Chase it.
Find it. Sprint after it.
Run.
Put your running shoes on, queens. All right, weekly wish.
Weekly wish. Mine is to really celebrate all the birthdays this week.
We do have so many birthdays.
We have so many. Like, this time of year is
just this week.
wild.
And like very, very close friends.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
That was a really cute weekly wish.
Thanks.
So I forgot to think of mine. What do I want to do this week? What is this week? I need to look at my calendar.
Is it this week?
I need to look at my calendar. Nothing on the calendar.
There's nothing in my books.
Just live life.
This week I just want to live. You know what? I know what I want to do.
Okay.
Listen, ladies. Okay. I have been thriving lately, I have to say. I have been so happy. Everything just feels like it's going so well for me, I have to say. And I want to keep it up because I thought this phone was going to be a setback. I was literally crying to my mom this morning like, everything's been going so good and now I lost all my pictures. But now I have them back.
Yep.
So I'm not letting that. That was like
You're
my...
on a good roll. You want to keep it up.
You never know what you have till it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I now know that it was what I have because it was almost gone.
Mm-hmm. So back it up.
Back up your phone. Yeah, that's my weekly wish. I'm gonna back up my phone.
Okay, yeah.
Not really though, but I'm gonna soak in every moment, and I'm gonna keep up this good energy because I almost had a moment of bad energy and it's gone.
You're denying it.
I'm denying. Yes. Bye. Don't want you.
Wow, that was a great one.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was kind of a long episode. I hope you guys like it. I've been seeing some comments that everyone's into our long episode.
Yeah, you guys like to hear us ramble. Don't worry, we do too. We
Yeah.
love to ramble.
I hope you guys like this episode. DM us what you want to hear next.
And if you have any more career questions, even though this part of the episode's over, you can always reach out to us. We will respond to you and
Yep.
give you everything we can.
For sure.
Faux show.
All right.
Illy, back up your phones, ladies. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.